Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Do you guys know how long I wanted to say this? I know I said I was gonna post a YouTube video years ago, like a year ago or something, but here we are. I still kept my promise, maybe a year late. I'm gonna talk about my hijab journey. Sorry guys, I'm trying to edit my video and I forgot to mention that this isn't really a happy story. Kind of like a negative beginning, but it has a positive ending. This is probably the journey I needed, just a disclaimer, I just forgot to mention that. I was really young when I first started wearing the hijab. I was maybe 12 or 13 and my mom said to me, Taslima, you have hit puberty. You must wear the hijab on Monday when you go into school. She never gave me a reason why. She never explained why Muslims have to wear the hijab. My parents weren't really educated that much. They just knew what the basics were, and if they thought that if you didn't do the basics then you would go straight to hell, like that's where their ideology is, and it wasn't their fault. They grew up in the villages, they grew up in a third world country. When you compare how they learn Islam and how we learn Islam in the Western world, we tend to learn through why we have to do things. We tend to learn through love, whereas they tend to learn through fear. They then projected their fear onto me without a reasonable explanation, which is why I hated wearing the hijab for about 8 years of my life. My mom said you have to wear the hijab. She didn't give me a choice. She was like, you have to wear it, and that basically meant if I didn't wear it, the consequences were going to be really bad, and they were brown parents, immigrant brown parents, so you can kind of imagine what the consequence would be. I was like 13 and thinking, oh my god, I cannot go to school with a hijab on. I went to such a small town school, and everyone knows small town schools are the most judgmental schools. Like in my school, if you didn't wear the latest designer stuff, you were not cool. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go into the car with my hijab on. My dad's driving me to school, and then I'm gonna run to the toilets, take it off, and then I'll just do my 6 hours of school, come back, run to the toilet, put it back on, and then zoom into my car before anyone can see me. Now that was a good plan for like 6 months, until the neighbors were like to my dad, hey, we start work a bit earlier, so could you please take our kids to school, like do carpool? And then I thought, oh my god, all these kids are gonna come into my dad's car and they're gonna see me wear a hijab in the car, and then they're gonna see me in school without it on. I was like, they're gonna snitch, my parents are gonna find out, oh my god, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna whoop me, they're gonna do everything. My plan is gone. I had no plan. Like what other plan is there? 6 months later, I was like, right, I'm gonna have the courage to walk into my school, and I'm gonna put it on my head, and I'm gonna just go into my classroom. And I remember I was walking and I was like, no, I can't do it. And I walked back out, and I walked in and I walked back out of like the main doors. And I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And it was the worst day. Even till this day, I feel like that was probably one of the worst days of my life, because that thing you feel in your heart? Because number one, I didn't want to wear it. Number two, I felt ugly in it. Number three, I didn't even know why I was wearing it. Number four, I just didn't want to wear it. Like, it was not something that I wanted to do. There was a teacher coming up down the stairs, and I was like, oh my god, if I'm just still stood here, I'm going to get into trouble, and that's going to be even more embarrassing when the teacher has to escort me into the class. So I go into my class. When I tell you nothing happened, I was being so dramatic for no reason. Everyone just looked at me and smiled. Life was life. Like, I still had my friends. I still was part of my friendship group. Like, it wasn't that deep. Even though nothing was too crazy, I remember for the next 8 years, I hated myself, guys. I hated everything about myself. I hate the way I looked. I was the most insecure, depressed child you would have ever known. I feel like if you looked at me, you would probably be able to realize I was so depressed. But then I was known as like the funny kid in school, like that annoying funny kid. And I used to do that to mask my depression. I used to go back home, and at night time I'd just cry. I'd look in the mirror. Like, I know this sounds a bit crazy when I say it. I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, you're so ugly. Like, I can't believe you have to put that on your head. You're so ugly. Like, no one's ever gonna love you, no one's ever gonna like you, you're so ugly. And I used to talk to myself like that when I was 13, 14, 15, and it messed me up, guys. Even when I look up photos of myself when I was a kid, I could still see the insecurity she had and the depression she had at such a young age. And I just wish me now could hug her and be like, no, it's okay. You will love yourself in the hijab one day. Like, you will genuinely think you're the most gorgeous girl. Like, right now, I feel so confident in my hijab, and I know I don't wear it properly, and that's like a different story. And it wasn't until I was maybe 22 or 23 that I actually loved wearing it. And the only reason that happened was because of social media, guys. When I started watching TikTok videos and Instagram, I used to see all of these hijabi girls loving their hijab, wearing the coolest outfits, styling their hijab in so many ways, speaking about why they love wearing it, and just having so much confidence. And then my mindset changed. I realized I had such a restrictive mindset when it came to wearing the hijab. I didn't have an open mindset. I used to think this thing on my head restricted me from enjoying life, but that was far from the truth, until I watched a video of this girl that said, she felt like every time she put the hijab on, she had the responsibility of the reputation of Islam on her hands. So every single interaction that she has with a stranger down the street, that will reflect on what they perceive Islam to be. And it's so true, because when you're wearing a hijab, people don't see you as like human first, they see you as Muslim first. They see you as a Muslim girl, a hijabi girl. They don't see you as a random girl down the street. And once I started thinking like that, my life changed. So many people hate us and have a negative stereotype about us. I have the power with this hijab on my head to make people feel like, oh, Muslims aren't bad. Everything that the media teaches us is not true. They're really kind people. But I will say one thing, you will not feel beautiful every day wearing the hijab, and that's absolutely normal. Some days you will feel so ugly. Some days you will feel no confidence. You would feel, if I had my hair out today, I would feel so much better, and that's so normal. I don't want you to take that as a sign that you need to take it off, because there are even days where non-hijabi girls who have their hair out feel so ugly with their hairstyle and they're having bad hair days. But for some reason, every time we have bad hijab days, the devil likes to remind us that maybe we need to take it off and we'd look so much prettier without it, and it's not true. I'll be honest, some days I don't want to wear it. Some days I want to take it off. I want to walk around the street when it's windy and have my hair flowing everywhere. But for the sake of Allah, I keep it on my head. Although I will say, sometimes every Sunday, we have to take the bins out to wait until it's like 1 a.m. and like everyone's asleep and no one's outside. And I will have my hair out just so I can go outside and like put the bins where the bins are supposed to be and feel the breeze in my hair. That is one of the most amazing feelings. But knowing that I give this up for the sake of Allah, like He is 70 times more merciful than your mother, and knowing how much reward I'll get, choosing Him over myself and my own comfort, that is enough for me. And it's hard thinking like that. Sometimes it's the worst week of my life and I think maybe people will treat me better if I didn't wear the hijab, or maybe I can be more involved with my social life when it comes to work if I didn't wear my hijab. I have come to a point where I'm just like, I don't care, you take me as I am. The community of hijabis are amazing. There's going to be someone who feels the way that you feel, and there's always a way to overcome your feelings. And learning about the reason why you have to put the hijab on your head will always be the most important. Inshallah, when I have daughters, I will always teach them why they should wear the hijab, the beauty of wearing it, and the love that they will feel when they put it on their head, instead of teaching them through fear. Whenever you feel really ugly wearing the hijab, do not self-criticize. Do not look in the mirror and start being hateful towards yourself. Don't start picking out on your flaws, because that will make you hate yourself even more. Your confidence will be gone. You need to start speaking to yourself like as if you're speaking to your best friend, or you're speaking to a stranger in the street, or you're speaking to your future daughter. You would never be hateful towards your future daughter. You would never be hateful towards your best friend. You would never call your best friend ugly. You would never say that to your daughter. So why do we say it to ourselves? When you look in the mirror, even if you're not happy with the way you look, be like, do you know what? I am so grateful that Allah has given me a functioning body, functioning eyesight. He's given me all the senses. Alhamdulillah for this. Every day, say something good about yourself when you're looking in the mirror, because it will reflect on you internally, and you need to convince yourself that you truly are beautiful and you truly are worth loving. Because if you can't convince yourself, people on the outside can also pick up on that, and they also will not be able to truly love you. And I will say that with first-hand experience. I only started seeing people respect me more once I started respecting myself more. When I started looking at myself in the mirror and complimenting myself, especially on days where I hate myself, I will be extra kind to myself in the mirror, because those are the days that matter the most, especially when you're wearing the hijab, because they will really help you with your confidence. And I wish someone told me that. If they told me that when I was 15, 16, I would have been unstoppable. But I wasn't. I was depressed and I hated myself. It's only now that I'm 25, I don't hate myself that much anymore. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully this has helped someone. And if you're a hijab, you really are truly gorgeous. Trust me. In my eyes, in my world, you know how we all have our own world in our head? In my world, hijabis are my #1 beauty standard. When I see a hijabi walking down the street, guys, I will always double take them, and I will make sure they look at me and they see the smile on my face. Even if they don't give me a smile back, I don't care. I'll give you the cheesiest grin and be like, hey, hi, how are you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely do that because I want you guys to feel seen. Like, I wish I felt seen. I never felt seen. Now, I don't want another hijabi to ever feel unseen, so I make sure that they feel seen. You know, make your hijabi friends feel seen. If you see a hijabi down the street, make them feel seen. Smile at them. I love your hijab. I love your outfit. You look so good in that modal hijab or that jersey hijab color. Oh my God, where did you get it from? Trust me, once you start making other hijabis feel good, you naturally will feel good.